Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me for another video. In this video we'll be making oxtail in our pressure pot. So let's get started. The oxtail, I added in about a tablespoon of bouillon, some thyme, as you can see here. Just sprinkled some of that on. You can add as much of this as you like. I'm not a big thyme person, so I did about a tablespoonful. And then this is some all-purpose seasoning. If you don't have your own all-purpose seasoning, some salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder will do. Or you can get one that's pre-made out of the store, whichever one to your taste. And I did a generous amount. It's not that salty. Everything here is nicely seasoned. And what I'm doing is I let it marinate for a little bit, put the seasoning on it. And then from there, I used browning. Forgive my wet hands. I did wash my hands in between the videos. Um, Browning, I think I did about a teaspoon to a tablespoon, but be very careful with this stuff. It will make your food bitter if you add too much. I think that's about a tablespoon worth. If start with a tablespoon, if it's not enough, then add a little bit more and do that until your food is completely brown like this. And just like I said, be very careful because it will make your food bitter if you add too much of it. So you just want enough to coat it and to brown it up, just like the name of it. So from here, I added some oil to the pan, and I put the onion, garlic, and tomatoes because I had sauteed some vegetables before this, and I could not find that video. So those little bits that you see in the pan are the saute I did previous to that. I don't change the oil. It's good to kind of keep it in there because I had seasoned up my onion, garlic, and tomatoes. And then now what I'm doing here is I'm browning each piece to lock in the seasoning. I do this when I'm using this pressure pot. It's also a good practice to do if you're using a slow cooker. But definitely, if you're using your pressure pot, you want to brown the meat to lock in that seasoning, and it makes it taste really good when it's time to start cooking. So here I'm turning because you want to brown each side, and you just turn each side after it's brown. You don't want to cook it too much. You just want to brown it. And now I'm taking the meat out of the pan and putting it into the pressure pot. So as each piece gets browned on both sides, I just remove that, threw that in there, and then I finish the rest of it. I'm going to do the rest of the last of the meat. And if you feel like your oil is too hot, turn it down. You definitely don't want it to burn or scorch because then your oxtail will taste just like that. So this seems like it's a bit high, but it wasn't. I made sure that it wasn't burning. But if you feel that your oxtail is burning while it's browning, that's not a good thing. Turn it down, take the pan off the stove, and wait till the oil cools down, and then begin again. Because oxtail are very expensive, you do not want to mess those up. So taking out the last of the oxtail, putting those over there into our pressure pot. And what you see down here, guys, is all of that seasoning that's all in the pan. So we don't want to get rid of that. What I normally do is I'll take about 2 cups of water and put that in the pan. And I just kind of take a spoon and kind of see if I can get some of that seasoning up from the bottom of the pan. And that water, and that's me spooning around trying to get all that yummy goodness. That water right there is what I use in the pressure pot. So I'll just try to get up all that seasoning, and then I just throw that water on top. And what you want to do is make sure that you have enough water to cover the oxtail. So I put that in, and if it's not enough water, then I add a little bit more to make sure that it's actually covering the oxtail, just like this. So there's enough water in there to cover. And then from there, once you have this done, you can even add another teaspoon or tablespoon of bouillon just to give it that extra added flavor, because sometimes the water can suck out some of your seasoning. So sometimes I do that. I'll add in some extra bouillon. So that's it there. I kind of did it quick and just kind of spooned it down in there, but that's what I did. Maybe about a tablespoon of bouillon. And there are those onions, garlic, and peppers and everything that I had sauteed, and I lost my video. So I just wanted to let you guys know I did add in some vegetables to that mix, and the secret ingredients. Yep, ketchup, guys. Add in about a tablespoon to a third of a cup. It all depends on how much oxtail you have. I had quite a few, so I think I did more of a third of a cup. Um, but if you don't have that many, you might just, put in a little less. So once you have all of your stuff in the pot, you just want to kind of make sure that you mix it up a little bit so that everything is just not sitting on top. You just give it a little spoon, let it, kind of drop to the bottom. So this is the pot, the pressure top. And inside of the top, there's a seal. So you want to make sure that that seal is in good condition. I had one before and it got worn out and it never steamed. So once you put the top on the pot, sorry guys, and you just lock it in place. And once it's locked in place, you want to put it on the stove, and you usually put it on high. I put mine on whatever the highest setting is on my burner, because the pot is very thick, so it takes a while before it starts steaming. And here is the pot steaming. Guys, once the pot starts steaming is when I set my timer for these oxtails. I'm going to let them cook for about 45 minutes to an hour. Read their instruction manual so you can get an idea how long you should let your food cook for. As you start using this more and more, you'll just get used to what the time should be. Also, be very careful of that steam. It is dangerous. Don't let anybody come near it. Watch the kids and watch your hands. It is not a good place to be. I think I really like using this pot because of my grandmother. My grandmother used to use one of these all the time, and I just got used to using this. I do have a 6-in-1, and I just have not used it yet. And it seems so practical, but I always kind of go back to my old pressure pot. So, as this comes to a close, this steaming, I take it off the stove. I let it cool down. Let it cool down completely. It took me about 20 minutes. If you notice that you cannot release if you can't take the lid off of the pot, if there's any difficulty, do not force it. It is not ready. Wait until it is ready. It should come off very easily. And here we go. My oxtail are done. And look at that, guys. It has all of that yummy goodness down in there. And they are tender to the fork. So I just wanted to show you. Put a fork in and the meat just comes right off. And they tasted great. And you can see down in there all of the veggies that I put in, the tomatoes and things like that. And they are really good. This is my Caribbean style oxtail, and they taste just like they came out of the Caribbean restaurant. I did get this recipe from a Jamaican friend of mine, so and she told me I passed with flying colors. So if you get a chance, try one of these pressure pots out. They are wonderful to use. I really enjoy using this. It does not take long to cook in, and I use mine. I think I've had mine for about 10, maybe longer than that, 15 years. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love a thumbs up. Also, I would love to see a smiley face or a thumbs up in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. I upload a new video every Thursday. I think I might start putting in a video on Tuesday, but I'll let you guys know about that. And thanks again for joining me. Until next time, bye.